All right, welcome everyone to all. You all. There we go. I'm going to meet you guys and I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get started and talk about recruiting like a rock star. Can you see my screen now? Yeah? I guess now I can't see you. That's not cool. I can see you now. Well, I'm just going to show it like this, okay? So everyone can see it. Give me a thumbs up. Show me your nails if you can see it. Show me your thumbnail. All right, cool. Here we go. So we're going to talk about recruiting like a rock star. But first, we're going to talk about butts. Really big butts, guys. Because what's getting in your way is your butt. It's your butt with a T, with one T. And I asked a lot of you guys about what was kind of getting in your way, what was holding you back from recruiting, and it was your butt. So what am I talking about? Butts equal excuses, insecurities, or fears. So yeah, they come in all shapes and sizes, but they are excuses, fears, and insecurities. And so I wanted to address these butts before we even talk about recruiting, because if you have like a big butt getting in your way, right, then it makes it really hard to recruit. So let's talk about excuses. Excuses are basically like imaginary lack. It's where your excuses are based on imaginary lack of resources, and they kind of look something like this. They say, but there's no time. They say, but I don't know enough people, or I don't have a powerful story. And an excuse gets us out of doing things that we don't really want to do. An excuse is never really the real reason behind our inaction. It's just kind of a cover up for something we're unwilling to face up to, and it masks our true feelings. So I love this quote by Jen Sincero. She says, and she's the author of You Are a Badass, which is a killer book, by the way. She said, if you want something bad enough, you'll find a way. If not, you'll find an excuse. And I totally believe that to be true. So how do you get off that excuse? You have to be like 100% honest with yourself and ask yourself, is it really a priority? Like, is building my team and, growing my business, is it really a priority? And what will happen in the future if you don't change? If you don't share this opportunity with others, what will happen? If you do what you've always done, then you'll be what you've always been. So if it frustrates you, then change it. Let's talk about insecurities, the butts that come in the form of insecurities. So insecurities are like imaginary inadequacies that we believe about ourselves. They typically include the word enough in them. When we say like, but I'm not good enough, but I'm not a good enough leader, I'm not talented enough, I'm not organized enough. It's typically something like some inadequacy that we imagine about ourselves, and it's not necessarily true. And you get off your butt or your inadequacies by surrounding yourself with positive words. Like, positive self-talk is huge, you guys. You are enough, but it really doesn't matter what I say to you. Like, what I say or believe about you, it matters what you say or believe about you. Like, self-talk is so important. When I used to be a Beachbody coach, I would have them rate their self-confidence. I would have my coaches that were on my team rate their self-confidence. And I noticed an interesting thing. Those coaches who had the highest confidence levels, because I would have them rate it on 1 to 10, they typically tended to have the highest levels of success. They did really well in their business. So self-talk is so important. So I want to ask you guys a question. Are you a mean girl or a bully? And I'm betting you're thinking no, but sometimes we're mean girls or bullies to ourselves. And our self-talk can be so belittling, but we would never allow anyone to talk that way to our kids or our friends. So we need to learn to stand up for ourselves to ourselves. Like, I want you to pay attention to the way that you talk to yourself in a day. That you even write it down. I've had people do this where they write down the negative thoughts they have in one day, and you would be surprised how many negative thoughts you had, and you would be surprised what they were about. So that's one challenge for you. And the other way to surround yourself with positive words is personal development. I talk about this all the time, you guys. And I know you kind of roll your eyes and you're like, I don't need that. Like, I don't have time. Again, it's like another excuse, right? I don't have time to read a book. I don't have time to listen to an audiobook. But you guys, you don't have time not to. Like, this is so important. Personal development is so important because you've got to surround yourself with positive words to get off your butt, to get over those inadequacies, those imaginary insecurities that we have about ourselves. And personal development can help you to be inspired, to be uplifted, to surround yourself with those positive, empowering words that can help you get over those butts, right? And then the final but I want to talk about is our fears. And those are imaginary experiences. I'm sure you guys have heard the acronym FALSE, that fear stands for false experiences appearing real. So an idea of those fears could be, but what if I fail? What if I suck at recruiting? What if I suck at being a leader? What if I look bad? You know, some of you guys said, I've done several MLMs. What if I look bad by like saying I'm doing another one? What if I disappoint everyone? What if I disappoint my team or my future team? Like, I don't want to disappoint them. It usually starts with the words, what if? And honestly, some of those fears entered my mind when I thought about speaking to you guys today. But 9 times out of 10, they are not life-threatening or real. So when these thoughts come up, and I have my kids do this, when these thoughts come up, we should ask ourselves 2 questions. What's the worst that can happen? So like for me, what's the worst that could happen if you know, tonight's presentation sucks? Well, maybe I suck, and maybe you guys all throw tomatoes or leave, but you'd probably all forget about it in a few days, and like I'd survive, right? But what's the best that could happen? Well, the best that could happen is maybe I can influence and help one of you guys improve your life. So sometimes those, you know, start asking yourself, what's the best that can happen? And when you think of like, what's the worst that can happen? Ask yourself, can I deal with that? And typically we can. You'll realize that when you take a leap of faith, you're not going to die. Okay. So, and you guys, I think the biggest way to get over your butt, like, is to have a big why. Your why needs to be bigger than your butt. So I want to ask you guys, what's your why that makes you cry? I want you to be thinking about that today. And I'm going to share a little bit about my why, and hopefully I won't ugly cry. But so my why is this little meme right here that says, I just want to make enough money to never have to think twice about adding guacamole. That's kind of like my funny joke, is I don't want to have to think twice about doing that. And it's because I am sick of being poor. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my personal life. So I grew up, my parents got divorced when I was like 18 months old. And so I had a single mom for several years before she got remarried. And we were really poor. Like, we used to sleep on the mattress by the fireplace because we didn't have heat. My mom used to work at a grocery store, and they would give her expired food so that she could feed us. I had 2 brothers and myself. I remember going to my friend's house and opening the cupboard of her house and being like, oh my gosh, she has Campbell's soup. Like, that was like living the posh life. She had Campbell's soup. We had ramen noodles. We had chicken pot pies. Like, we had the cheapest food possible. And I just remember envying that she had Campbell's soup in her cupboard. And I remember asking my mom, when I was a teenager, or when I was like 12, if I could take dance classes. And she's like, only if you can pay for them yourself. So I took dance classes for a month because I could only pay for 1 month of dance classes. So we kind of grew up, that was just kind of the life I lived as a child. And then when I got married really young. I was barely 20. And so we lived on food stamps and WIC when we were going to college. There's been times in our marriage where we had to have the church help us with groceries because we couldn't afford groceries. There's been times in my life where my husband had to take a second job delivering pizzas. There's been times when we couldn't afford haircuts or shoes for my kids. It's kind of been like a lifelong struggle, and I was sick of it. And so I'll share where I was at 9 months ago. So 9 months ago, at the beginning of the year, I got mono, and that was really frustrating because I couldn't do anything. And I used to be a Beachbody coach. So I used to be a 5-star diamond Beachbody coach. But when I got mono, it was really hard to promote working out. So I felt inspired to quit that job, which was really, really scary because I had a team. But it was hard. Like I said, I had mono. It was really hard to promote working out when I couldn't work out myself. And so I ended up quitting, and I lost that income for our family. And then I did Lip Sense for like 2 months, and I didn't love it. And after that, I vowed to never do another MLM again. I am never going to do another MLM. That's what I said. So ironic. Never say never. But we were living like barely, when I quit and lost that income, we were living barely above poverty level as a family of 6. During the summer, we were sleeping on air mattresses to stay like in the basement to save on air conditioning. I was always putting groceries back at the checkout line, constantly saying no to my kids when they would ask for, the smallest things, and just living paycheck to paycheck with like zero money in the bank. There were some days where we had zero money in the bank, and it was scary, where it was like, oh my gosh, I really hope that nothing comes up because I don't have any money to pay for it. And this text that I got changed my life. And this was from my upline. And she said, hey, Kelly, I've been introduced to a pretty cool opportunity, and I'd love to share in case you would like it. Lately, I feel like a crazy direct sales lady, but I am motivated to get out of med school. That was her why. She said, it's a super fun, girly, inexpensive product that just launched. Now, all those 3 words like totally speak to me. Fun, girly, inexpensive. She said, I seriously think it's going to be a lot like the Lip Sense craze, but it's in the founding stages, so there's lots of potential. Anyway, let me know if you'd like more info. So I remember when I got that text, and I was like, oh, geez, like, I don't have time for this crap. I'm not doing another MLM. But for some reason, I said, sure. And honestly, it surprised me that I answered that way, because normally I'd be like, no, like, I don't have time for this. But I said yes. And she called me on the phone, and like, she didn't even text me back. She literally called me on the phone and started talking to me about this business opportunity. And I got really excited, and within 24 hours, I signed up. I hadn't even tried the product yet, but I knew this was a good business opportunity. So for me, she sold the business opportunity to me, not the product. And so this could change someone's life. Like, this opportunity, this business could change someone's life because it's changed my life. Think of how it's already blessed your life. I want you guys to like sit down and make a list of how this business has already blessed your life in so many different ways. I'm going to share where I am after 4 months in this business. So after 4 months in this business, I'm making 5 figures a month. So I don't have to think twice about adding guacamole. I got a new used car with my the car allowance that they give you when you hit executive director rank. There's a lot. Some of these things I haven't shared publicly yet. So you guys are getting all the juicy secrets. My husband quit his job like a couple weeks ago that he has hated for years so that he could spend more time with the kids and be home. He's working as a substitute teacher now and having a great time. I have 753 new friends on my team. That's you guys, you amazing women here. I get to speak to you, which I actually love public speaking. And I'm going on that trip to New York City, the leadership trip that they have offered if you hit executive rank. So as long as I maintain executive director rank, I get to go on that trip. So they're like, my life has literally changed in 4 months after this business. Now this is kind of an extreme version. But this is all because my upline had the courage to ask, because her why was bigger than her butt. And because my why was bigger than my butt, I shared this opportunity. And P.S., this was my third MLM in 1 year. Like, do you think I was worried about what others thought? Yes, I totally was. But my why was bigger than my butt. And so I got over it. So I also want to share my other why with you guys. I read this quote when I was listening to personal development book on Audible. And it said, life is a mission, not a career. A career is a profession. A mission is a cause. A career asks, what's in it for me? A mission asks, how can I make a difference? And so my other why is to help you guys succeed. And no matter, I call myself a serial entrepreneur, and I'm guessing a lot of you guys are too, because I know many of you guys are in other MLMs. But my goal in whatever business I've been in has always been to empower women to look good, feel good, do good. And that's kind of my goal with like helping you guys to feel good and to then go on and like influence others and do good in the world. So I want to help you guys to succeed. So I want to ask you guys, what would you do with an extra $1,000? What would you do with an extra $2,000 a month? Like, think of the opportunities and the experiences, the memories that you could create with an extra $2,000. Like, write it down. Start thinking. I want you to start. I want those wheels to spin. I want you to write down some of these things that are popping in your head. What about an extra $3,000? What about an extra $4,000? What about an extra $11,000? Like, these are all possibilities in this business. And I'm not trying to impress you, but I'm trying to impress upon you the potential blessings on this business. So let's talk about how to recruit. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. These are some steps that I have personally done myself to share the blessings of this business and recruit people on my team. And so I'm going to share some of these steps with you guys. So define your why and make a vision board. Share the business blessings. Ask 10. Call prospects. Send samples. Increase your network. Sell nails. Follow up. And PD, which stands for personal development. So we're going to break it down. We're going to talk about each one of those things. So first, let's talk about defining your why and creating a vision board. And I don't see your chats. Sorry, guys. When it's on share screen, I can't see your chats. But I will go live in the group and answer your questions later. So it's super important to have a vision for the lifestyle that you want in your life. What kind of lifestyle do you want? Do you want to travel a ton? Do you want to, like, obviously I want to travel. Can you see my vision board? This is my private vision board on Pinterest. There's 234 pins of how I want my life to look like. I want to go to the Jimmy Fallon show. I want to take my kids to Disneyland. I want to travel to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. I want to go to New York Fashion Week. Like, traveling is a big thing that my husband and I, that's part of our why. And let me also encourage you to ask your husband what his why is, like why he's supporting you in this business and what he wants this business opportunity to bring. Like, I asked my husband and he was like, He said because he wants to be home more and spend more time with the kids, and because he likes to see me happy, and he knows that that this business is fun. It's fun for me, and I enjoy it. So what do you want your life to look like? Create a vision board, whether it's on Pinterest or whether you just get out like a magazine and like start and post it up, put it on a poster board. Create a vision board of what you want your life to look like. And I promise you guys, some of these things are going to start to happen. Vision boards are incredibly powerful. I won this ring, this diamond ring, on Instagram because I had started pinning. I lost my wedding ring in the Utah Lake, and then I started pinning huge, like big fat diamond rings on Pinterest. And then the following week, I entered an Instagram contest to win this ring, and I won it, and I was freaking out. In fact, I won it from Mackenzie Guyman, who was one of my stylists. She was a blogger, and she was giving it away as part of like a promotion. Anyway, crazy crap has happened. I'm telling you, I could go off on vision boards. So that's a really fun thing to do. So you guys, write down, why am I doing this? Like, why the heck am I here? What do I want out of this business? What do I want my life to look like? Write it down. Have pictures, have visuals, so that you can visualize your life. Because if you can visualize it, like if thoughts become things, if you can visualize it, it can happen. Now we're going to talk about the recruiting checklist. And you guys, this is in our team Google Drive. So you can all pull it up if you'd like. It's just in the folder under recruiting. And maybe I'll make these bigger so you guys can see these. But I thought I'd make a checklist because I'm a nerd like that. Well, that's way too big. So we're going to go through this recruiting checklist of things that you can check off. I think women love to check things off lists, right? So these are all things you can go through and check off and say, am I doing these things to get off your butt and your other butt and share this blessing with others? So those are the two right here. Have I created a vision board? Have I written out my why? Now let's talk about sharing the business blessings. And I think a lot of people get so scared about sharing the business blessings, but this is something I've done from day one because I want people to see like the blessings that come from being a color street stylist. And you don't have to be annoying about it. I think that's what a lot of people worry about. It's like, I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to be annoying. But if you're just sharing something with like gratitude, from a place of gratitude, and sharing about your life, like it's not going to come off that way. So, and if you are struggling, well, what do I share about? Like, I don't really know what. So I have 5 Fs. 5 Fs. You have to see my Halloween nails. 5 Fs. Those are, what is it? Sleepy Hollow and Times Square. Anyway. The 5 Fs are financial blessings, flexibility, fun, friends, and faith in self. So sharing maybe how this business has blessed you financially. Like I think one of you did a post about how you were able to buy like a bunch of diapers in bulk from one of your paychecks. And I thought that was so cute. In fact, if that was you, you'll have to email me that picture. I want to share it. But just stuff like that, sharing like how you were able, and it doesn't have to be anything mind blowing. It can be like, I was able to pay off a bill. I was able, I did a post, a couple weeks ago, and all I posted was, I said, bye Felicia. And that's all I said. And I said, we just paid off some debt with our Color Street check. So, get creative with things like that. Talking about the flexibility, talking about how you're like, oh, hey, I just took the day off work to hang with my kids because I can, because I work for myself and I get to set my work hours. Talking about the fun, the fun that you have on these girls' night out. So you can do a screenshot of our team girls' nights and talk about the fun or the friends that you've made in this business. Because I know lots of you guys are connecting. We have so many great groups and chat rooms and things for you guys to connect in. talking about faith in self, you know, how you have become more confident. I've seen you become more confident because of this business and because you are doing something for yourself. You know, sometimes as women, we like get so busy taking care of our families and stuff that we don't have like something for ourselves. And it's kind of fun to have like your own little business and outlet to do something for yourself. Do I post one nail pic publicly per week? So I recommend doing like a Manny Monday post of your nails. Like my daughter and I do our nails on Sunday night. Then I post a picture on Monday. Have I done at least one call to action post with an application to join my team? So, and I should say at least do one of those per month. So I would say, and what I mean by this is like saying, hey, I'm looking for 3 girl bosses to join my team. You know, here's why I love it, or here's how it's blessed me. And then fill out this application, and you create a Google Doc or Google form that is sort of like a job application. Do I have a Facebook fan page? These are all just, and I don't mean to overwhelm you with like all these things, but these are just ideas of things to do, because I think often everyone's like, well, I don't know what to do, or, you know, so here's a bunch of ideas for you to try. Take baby steps to do them. Don't freak out. But this one is, you know, maybe start a Facebook fan page, and then in the pinned post of, you know, you can actually pin posts on your fan page, like on your business page. You can actually pin a post that has like a call to action in it. So whenever someone goes to your Facebook fan page, so like mine is Francie Pants Nails, whenever they go to that, they're going to see, oh, this is like, they're going to see that call to action and hopefully want to like join my team or just look into it a little more. Have I linked to my Facebook fan page as my job description on my Facebook profile? So if you guys, if you go to your Facebook profile, you'll see that, like, let me just show you guys what I'm talking about. I only have like 5 more minutes, but we'll hurry. So, okay, so here is my Facebook page, and you see it says, you can say like Color Street Stylist at, and then it links to Francie Pants Nails. So then when they go to my Facebook fan page, there's my Facebook fan page. And there's my pinned post. Let's see if hopefully it's still there. There it is. There's my pinned post. So make sure you know, that's one thing to try. And then another thing is, okay, good. We have 10 minutes. The other thing is to create. So, you know, we have a team considering Color Street Facebook group. And I'm sorry, you guys, I'm just going to plow through this and then I'll answer questions in the team. Like I'll do a live video on the team, but so let's see, where was I? Okay. So you know how we have a team considering Color Street group? I highly recommend that you make one yourself. If you're brave, I think that people would respond so much better if it's from you, because the people you add to it have a connection with you. They want to hear your story. They want to hear your reason why you love it. They want to hear all those answers from you. So if you have the courage to do that, I highly recommend doing something like that. If not, at least add them to our team considering Color Street group. Have I interacted on social media with any prospective stylists or my dream team? So it's important to build relationships with people. You know, a lot of you guys said one of your frustrations was that people aren't joining fast enough, you know, and timing's everything. I mean, I've been talking to my sister about this since day one, and she just barely joined 4 months later. So, so it's really about timing, but as long as you're continuing to build a relationship with those people, that's important. And then increasing your network. And I forgot to add this, but some of you guys said, well, I just don't have that many people that I talk to. Like I stay at home with my kids. I don't get out much. This is what I want to encourage you to do. Add 5 people as friends on your Facebook page or on Facebook every day. I want you guys to max out. To max it. So you can have, you're allowed 5,000 friends on Facebook. I want you guys to make that a goal to max out and have 5,000 friends on Facebook eventually. That was one of my goals when I was a Beachbody coach, and I met it because I constantly added people as friends. Now, a lot of you guys are going to say, well, I don't want to add random strangers, right? But you can invite, I always make sure we have a mutual friend. So a friend of a friend, and I'll just add them, and it's up to them whether they choose to accept my friend request or not. But you put it up there. You've got to increase your network. That's so important. The more eyeballs you have, the more likely people are to sign up or to try the product, or you know what I mean? And then create a Frank list of your dream team. So Frank is friends, relatives, neighbor. I can't remember what the A is. Acquaintances, neighbors, kids, friends. Or so just create a list of people that you would love to have on your team, or just people that you know. Try to get 40 contacts in 40 minutes. All right. Then talk up your team. This is huge, you guys. I don't know if you noticed this, but I talk up our team a lot. And I mean, you guys totally are very deserving. But if you don't have a team, then you talk up your upline team. Like talk up team sheet or team nailed it. You like just talk up your team and how awesome they are, because you want people to see this amazing community that they can be part of. And also recognize your team. So like every Friday I've been trying to do I call it Follow Friday, and I'll do a post where I recognize a member of my team who has, rank advanced or done something awesome, maybe got a certain number in sales or their jumpstart bonus or whatever. So do something like that, because when you're sharing their success, then other people seeing like, oh my gosh, she's got all these girls killing it on her team. Like she's obviously doing something right. Like they're all doing something right here. And then another tip is to create a hashtag for your team name. So, because then you can see how many times you've used that hashtag. I try to use my Team Nailed It hashtag every time I post about our team, because then I can see how many times I'm actually posting about it. I think it's so important to talk about your team and talk about the blessings of this business at least once a week. All right, next, ask 10. Have you guys, have I texted or messaged at least 10 people about the Color Street opportunity this week or month? You guys decide if you want to do it. 10, ask 10 people a week, or 10 people, at least 10 people a month. Message people, ask them, just like my upline did. I hadn't seen her in like a year or so. I don't even know the last time I'd seen her. So she did text me out of the blue, but it was fine. She was an old neighbor. And obviously I responded because it was what I needed in my life at that time. So don't say no. I always tell my kids, if you don't ask, the answer's already no, right? It's also important, obviously, to sell nails, like consistently sell $300 in PV each month to ensure that you have customers that are using and loving the products, because you guys, your customers and your hostesses are the ones that turn into your stylists because they love it. In fact, I have this hostess that I'm doing a Facebook party with this week, and she messaged me today and she's like, all right, how much is a kit? So those are the people that are going to end up joining your team. So are you doing Facebook parties with hostesses at least once a week? I highly recommend doing them once a week. Try to schedule your whole month out to have Facebook party at least once a week. And you can schedule those, you guys. You don't have to be on your phone all the time. Schedule those in a Facebook group, or use Post My Party or whatever to make your life easier. But let's see, do I post daily in my VIP group? You can just do a nails of the day kind of thing. Send samples. Are you guys sending out samples every week? That's really important. I've had a couple stylists who literally got a sample and were like, all right, I'm ready. I want to sign up. Like, I love these. So send out samples. That's, I challenge you guys to do 100 samples. There's a 100 sample challenge that you can look up in our Facebook group or on YouTube. And I highly recommend you guys reach that goal. Okay, You can also, if I have someone who's interested, who's considering joining, I'll send them a full set. Like, I'm totally cool with investing in that person, you know, that extra income. Now, this is a big one, and I only have like 2 minutes to talk to you about it. Call your prospects, okay? I'm not a big phone person. In fact, I don't even like to talk on the phone, let's be honest. My husband will call me when we're on vacation. I'll be like, I'll just catch up with you when I get home, like when I'm on a trip by myself. Anyways, but it's so important to answer their questions on the phone. And you guys, you don't have to know all the answers. This is the funny thing. When I talk to prospective stylists on the phone, they're literally talking 80% of the time. And I'm like, so what questions do you have? And they ask a question, and then they talk themselves into it. They talk and they talk and they talk. And so you really don't have to have all the answers. If you don't know the answer, you just say, I don't know, I'll have to get back to you. And then at the end of the conversation, you add them to a considering color street group. And I have all that info about, you know, talking on the phone and stuff in here in this recruiting steps and scripts. And then following up is huge, you guys. Follow up. Follow up with your hostesses after they have a party and ask them. Follow up with, you know, people that say they're interested in being a stylist on your sample form. Things like that. And of course, read personal development, okay? So you guys, this is so doable. I hope this helped. And I'm going to hop on our Facebook group and answer all your questions over there live. So join me in Team Nailed It in just a minute, okay? Bye, guys.